Hey guys, Todd with 306 Foxbody. Next project on the list is a little bit different than what we've been doing lately. Check this out. So I got a Cobra lower intake manifold. Might have lucked out. Those ports, they're a little bit too nice. I think they were extrude-honed. If I'm lucky, I think that's what it could be. But what I want to do is clean up all this paint and stuff like that in here. I tried a little bit of paint remover, and I would really like to sandblast it, but if any sand gets caught in that plate on the bottom of the intake, you just don't want to introduce any foreign materials into a motor that could get dislodged and cause problems with bearings or rings or anything. You know, a guy could tape off the bottom of the intake really good, like super good. And then once I get the finish to a raw finish, what would you do? I want to make it look good for a long time. So would you guys, let me know in the comments section, would you guys paint it sort of an aluminum looking color, or use a engine clear coat, a high temperature clear coat? Will that yellow or turn color in time? Or just leave it raw? But let's face it, when you pop the hood after doing all this work, you want to make it look as good as you can for as long as you can. So I'm leaning towards painting it an aluminum looking color. It was I think it was a duplicolor, high heat, engine enamel, and it looked like aluminum. You know, I want to make it look kind of fresh looking, and I want it to last for a while. Maybe just raw is going to be fine too. Because, you know, if it's raw, you don't have to worry about any paint flaking or anything else. This obviously has been painted with who knows what. I have some valve covers here, and I'm debating what to do with them. They were covered in a real 90s looking green and blue speckled paint job. So I got them looking good. I don't mind sandblasting these because if anything, you take that little baffle off the bottom, you can wash those really good and there'll be no issues. Just at the bottom of the intake, there is this baffle in there. I don't want to take a chance of getting anything lodged in that area. You know, it can be washed out, but still. I think, like I said, I'm going to lean towards, I'll wash the intake really good. I'll mask off the whole bottom side of it, like extra good. And then maybe I'll see about getting it, after I clean it, I'll take it to a machine shop and get it put in their jet washer for a while. Well guys, I decided I'm going to sandblast the intake. But here's my reasoning behind it, and here's what I'm going to do. Just say if I had this intake ported, and if somebody's working on it for a few hours with a die grinder, there's going to be filings everywhere. So if I tape it off really good, I'm going to drastically minimize the amount of filings that are going to get in here, or the sandblasting glass beads. I really think that should work. You know, the bottom side is really clean, just to keep the debris from going into the bottom side. And so I think I'll probably be further ahead by sandblasting it as long as I tape everything off really good. So let's get started. Well, let's see how we did. I'll get this thing out and we'll take a better look on the bench. Well, pretty happy so far. Think I'll blow it off, maybe vacuum it off, and we'll see how we did. Well, obviously I got sand in the ports. I just want to keep it out of this area. And I can clean the ports out. I could peel this back. Look at that. This doesn't look any different than when I started, so we got this, it stayed nice and clean. I was worried I'd have to use paint remover and pressure washers and everything else under the sun to get all that paint off, but man, it looks as good as I'll get it, I think. I wanted this to stay clean, and I think we achieved our goal. That's the main thing. Like I said, I didn't want any debris trapped, like forced in underneath those rivets, and then we'll be in trouble. So guys, now that I have everything all nicely cleaned up and sandblasted, I haven't put it in the parts washer yet. My dilemma is, what do I do with it? Let's face it, when these things were sold new, it was likely raw aluminum. I wanted to make it look, like I've said time and time again, I want it to look as good as possible for as long as possible. After doing all this work and cleaning, do I paint it with a engine enamel that may have a bit of ceramic in it? Do I leave it raw? I know some guys have said that they like to ceramic coat their intake manifolds, but I kind of have a problem with that, because if you think of it being like a set of headers or anything else, I think a ceramic coating will keep the heat in the manifold. The whole thing with aluminum is that it's lighter and it dissipates heat. Like, aluminum has excellent heat dissipation properties, and you know, if I can't say the exact numbers what the temperature might be, but if you had a upper and lower intake manifold that was ceramic coated, it would look great. If you're just doing some really light street driving, it'd probably be fine, but how much more heat would that keep in the runners, possibly? You know, the whole idea is to make the air intake charge as cool as possible. So I think a light coat of paint might be the way to go if you want to have some kind of a finish on it. But I don't know about ceramic coating it. That's just, to me, that would keep the heat inside. And it kind of goes against the grain of what you want to accomplish when it comes to performance. If I'm wrong, somebody let me know. I'm just trying to logically think this out the best that I can. But I think I'd have to say no to a ceramic coating, just because it could hold the heat in. So I think for my lower intake, we're going to probably either have it raw, or I'll get a high heat engine enamel and just give it a light coat, just to help make it look a little nicer for a little longer. For all you see the lower intake, if you left it raw, I'm sure it'd be fine, but if you got any grease or oil or anything on there, it might kind of, I'll call it, soak into the aluminum a bit more than if it was painted with a good paint. So with the intake manifold, let me know what you guys thinking, if you think it should be raw aluminum. Obviously that's like how it would have left the factory, if it should have a light coat of paint, or if it should have a clear coat on here just to help seal off the aluminum, keep it a little bit cleaner. And your thoughts on ceramic coating. It may look good, but from a performance point of view, I don't know. Ceramic might hold the heat in. If you think about this, try changing your spark plugs on beside a set of headers that are ceramic coated and ones that aren't ceramic coated. Big difference. Could be the difference between you burning your fingers off or it's hot, but it's bearable. So that just goes to show how much a ceramic coating could hold the heat in. Ceramic coating would definitely look great. It would be great for a show car. But for your day-to-day, I think the paint or raw obviously will dissipate the heat that much easier. I think in the next few days I'm going to try and get at the 95 motor. It's been waiting for a long time, and it's about time we did something with it, because summer and spring will be around the corner pretty quick, and it's about time I got a little bit more action on the 95, because I want to get it on the road. So anyways, looking for your thoughts and your recommendations on the intake, and we can take it from there. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Cheers.